All right. Good morning, students. I'm recording for the virtual kids this morning, as well as I'm teaching you all who are my in-person students for my first academic. All right, so we're going to look at the PowerPoint presentation. Yesterday, we pretty much went over the PPE science mini lesson. So we didn't really get to do a whole lot yesterday to prepare for this to finish up this PowerPoint presentation to get at least to the 6 kingdoms. Once we get to the 6 kingdoms today, we're going to stop because you have a quiz tomorrow. Your quiz will not cover the 6 kingdoms. Your quiz will cover classification. It will cover classification. Today you will also learn about dichotomous keys. You will learn about dichotomous keys today. So, yeah, we got a lot to do in about 35 minutes. We got a lot to do in 35 minutes. All right, so once again, this is your standard that we're operating from. What is classification? Classification is the process of arranging organisms into groups based on their similarities. Also, if you look up at the learning target says I will classify organisms based on physical characteristics and genetic characteristics. That's what we're constantly doing this whole week. All right, so why should things be classified? Things should be classified because it makes things easier to identify, study, and find. Identify, study, and find. Scientists use a classification system to organize, name living things. To organize and name living things. The levels of classification are what? Say it with me. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Don't forget that the genus and species, we call it the binomial nomenclature. I need everybody to write that in your notes right now on page 14. Binomial nomenclature. I'm going to write that on the board. All you need to remember is what I wrote over here. You need to write this in your notes right now. This is a whole word, nomenclature. So, binomial nomenclature equals genus plus species, and that still equals the scientific name of an organism. So the binomial nomenclature is a two-part naming system that scientists use to name organisms, to give an organism a scientific name. Binomial nomenclature is a two-part naming system which allows every organism to have a scientific name. So binomial nomenclature is the genus and species, which is the scientific name of an organism. Which is the scientific name of an organism. Now, close your eyes. Close your eyes and say binomial nomenclature. Close your eyes and say it again. Binomial nomenclature. Say it's a two-part naming system that scientists use to give organisms a scientific name. Binomial nomenclature equals genus plus species, and that gives the scientific name. Okay, you can open your eyes. As we move up the levels of classification, we notice that the number of organisms do what? As we move up the levels of organization, Starting down here with the species going up to the kingdom, we notice that the number of organisms does what? They increase. They increase. As we move down the 7 levels of classification, we notice that the characteristics become more specific and everything becomes less inclusive. And so what happens to the number of organisms? They decrease. They decrease. And finally, we get down to one. Do we get down to one organism or we get down to one? What happens? Do we get down to one organism or do we get down to one species? You are correct. We get down only to one species. That's a population of organisms that have characteristics that are so similar that they can reproduce with each other. Okay? All right. Charles Linnaeus. We already know about Charles Linnaeus. Did I go over that with you all? Okay. Linnaeus is a scientist back in the 18th century. And he's a botanist who created a classification system of organisms based on their physical characteristics. Originally, Linnaeus only had 2 kingdoms or major categories, which were plant and animal. All right, this is the difference between Linnaeus and the modern classification system. During the 1800s, we only started with 2 kingdoms. As we moved into the modern times, we ended up with 5, and then finally we ended up with 6. All right, did we go over this yesterday? Okay, we got a genus and a species. So what happens with the first letter of the word genus? It's capitalized. What happens to the second letter? It's lowercase. And what's the whole word? What's significant about the whole word? It's a scientific name, but how would you see it written in a textbook? Italicized. Italicized. Thank you. All right. Did we watch a video yesterday? Okay. All right. We'll keep it moving. Other examples. If you want to write this down, you can. Another example of a scientific name is Urus, and I don't know really how to pronounce these words, so please bear with me. I'm gonna try to sound this out. Horribilis. So we got Urus horribilis for the scientific name for a grizzly bear. Urus horribilis for a scientific name for the grizzly bear. Also, for a domestic cat, I can't see the name, but it's domesticus. Yeah, I think it might be Felis domesticus. I think that's a scientific name for the cat. Write this down just so you can just write this example down right here and write bear, grizzly bear, and the scientific name. May I proceed? All right. So, classification game. In the following slides, you will find 14 different organisms, each of them labeled with a letter. In your groups, write down the 2 main classifications. Example, red and green. Then place the corresponding letters under the correct classification. These organisms have been classified based on color. I don't know what the game consists of, so we just gonna keep it moving. I didn't never understand that. But these organisms have been classified based on color. So we got a crab, a rooster, and a rose. Over here, I think we got a mobile, turtle, and a tree. A tree. So this is green and this is red. All right, so Not sure what's going on right there, but okay. I think I know what's going on. I think I figured it out now. Let me see. Let me go back. Because we're moving into dichotomous key, where you have to, there's actually a way to organize and arrange organisms, or just sort anything in a particular order. If you look at this list, if you just look at this random list right here, you have a penguin, elephant, a tree, might be kind of like a palm tree or something, sunflower, shell, clown, cactus, rooster, looks like a bacteria, um, butterfly, flower, a weed or something, fish, and tree. If we were to put this list into two groups, what two groups would you put them in? Kaden. Two legs and no legs. You say legs and no legs? So organisms with legs and organisms without legs? Okay, somebody give me another group. Plants and animals. I think I like plants and animals. I think I like plants and animals. So anytime you're doing a dichotomous key, is something wrong, guys? Humans are animals. We are animals. Yeah, we belong in the animal kingdom. Homo sapiens. That's our scientific name. All right, so we're gonna do two different groups. We're gonna do 1A and 2A. If you want to write this down in your notes, you can. So we're looking at this big group, okay? And we're gonna put it in two groups. So and this is a dichotomous key. So if you want to put dichotomous key practice, you can. You might want to write this down, by the way. Just saying. All right, so because you're about to do an assignment where you gotta do it by yourself. All right, so write 1A and 1B. I'm sorry, not 1A and 1B, but 1A and 2A. 1A and 2A. So 1A and 2A. I'm doing it wrong. Sorry about that. It's been a while. 1A and B. Okay, 1A and B. Then we're gonna move to 2A and B. So write 1A and B. That's what I want you to write. So you might need to erase or squiggle out. I apologize for that. Okay, so we said we're gonna do plants. So we got plants, and we have what? Animals. So let's look at just the group with just the plants. Let's just look at the group with just the plants, okay? Let's look at the group with just the plants. So, what do you notice about just the plants? I'm going to go ahead and just circle the plants. So we got a plant right here, plant right here, a plant right here, plant right here, and a plant right here. Okay? Now, but I see something right here that's not an animal or a plant. So what we can do with our dichotomous keys is we got something else. We can just add a C right here. And we're going to add that as a bacteria. So we got 1A, B, and C. So if we're going to just focus at the plants, we just going to look at the plants. How can we divide these plants into two groups? What two groups can we divide the plants into? Tucker. Flowers and trees. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to use this. We're going to take the plant. We're going to go down to 2A. And then we're going to do 2B. And we're going to call this flowers and trees. So when you're at 1A, where you going to go for 1A? You're going to go to 2A and where else? 2B. So beside right here, we're going to put go to 2A or 2B. Well, that's what you need to put, because anytime you read a dichotomous key, you need to know where to go next. All right? You're going to put go to 2A or 2B. Go to 2A or 2B. Got it? All right, so now we're down to 2A or 2B. When we look at just the plants, and we divide it into flowers and trees, so we're just going to focus on the flowers. So let's just look at the flowers. So we got flower, flower, and flower. What's the difference between 1, 2, and 3? What you going to say? So plants with color and plants with diverse colors and plants with no diverse colors. Would you say that? Okay. So green plants and plants with other colors. Okay. So right here for flowers, we're going to do 3A and we're going to do 3B. So we're going to put go to what? Go to 3A. Just go to 3A. Go to 3A. And right here, I'm just going to put, you can erase that. Erase that. I'm still warming up because it's been a while for me. I've been in quarantine, same time y'all been in quarantine. So Miss Jackson trying to warm up with everything. All right, so 3A. So we're going to do flowers with what? With diverse colors. And then we're going to say flowers, just green flowers, right? Okay. Now the key to a dichotomous key is you want to get down to the last, you want to get down to the very last organism. And that's when it comes to a stop. All right. So let's look at the flowers with the colors. We only got 2 with the colors, right? So how are you going to separate these into 2 groups? So one with 1 color and one with the multiple colors? All right, I can take that. So we're going to do 4A. We're going to do 4A. 4A is going to be flower with 1 color. And then 4B is going to be flower with multiple colors. Now, have we now separated them down to 1 flower? Okay. So since now we have separated down to 1 flower, what's the name of the flower with the 1 color? And that's what you're going to write beside it. Sunflower. Right here. What's the name of the flower with multiple colors? Y'all going to call it roses? What y'all say, tulips? Yeah. All right, so we're going to say tulips. So now we have identified, we have classified the sunflower. So we can put an X on that because we're done with that. And we can put an X on this because we're done with this, correct? Yeah. Now we got to move to the trees. What's the difference between these trees? What 2 groups can I put these 3 trees in? Trees with leaves and trees without leaves. But hold on. Right here where it's got green flowers, what kind of name we going to give that one? Because we got this flower by itself for finally, right? So what's the name of this? A fern. All right, so we're gonna name it fern right here. Fern. We're gonna call that a fern. All right, now, so can we mark this one out? We're done with that. All right, so you said trees with leaves and trees without leaves. Okay, So what we're gonna put right here for the trees? Go to. Nope. What we left off right here. Go to 5A. So we're gonna put 5A, trees with leaves, and B, trees without leaves. Okay. Do we have one organism by itself yet? And okay, we do. So what's the name of that organism that's by itself? It's a cactus, right? So we're gonna write cactus right here. Okay, now the trees with the leaves, how can we divide them into two groups? Where they grow. The climate they grow in? Okay, I like that, Mac. All right, so what we're gonna put right here? Go to 6A. So we're gonna put 6A, and we're gonna say tree in cold climate, right? And then tree in tropic climate. So what type of tree do you think? What type of tree you think the tree is that's in the cold climate? We're gonna probably say evergreen, right? So let's say evergreen. What type of tree is gonna grow in the tropic climate? Palm tree. So we're gonna say palm tree. Have we got those organisms by itself yet? Yes. So we can mark those out. Now take 1 minute, talk to your neighbor. Look at all of just the animals. Look at the animals. Because we gotta go back here, right? We gotta go back here. So what two groups can you divide the animals in? I'm gonna talk to Miss Walker for 1 second. Okay. All right, guys. Let's go back. All right, so the animals. Where we gonna go for the animals next? But go to where? Go to where? Go to 7A. So we're gonna do 7A right here, correct? So animals with what? Okay, so we're gonna do animals. What y'all say? Animals with legs and animals without legs? I think I like animals with legs and animals without legs just to get started. Unless you want to say animals on land and animals not on land. Want to do that? No. Do you want to say mammals and non-mammals? Well, what about mammals and no mammals? Legs and no legs. Okay, so animals with legs, listen up, and animals without legs. Okay, we're gonna focus on the legs first. So what we're gonna put? Go to 8A. So 8A and 8B. All right. So how we gonna divide 8A and B into two groups? All the animals with the legs. I'm gonna circle all the animals with legs. Would you say the butterfly got legs? Yes. What you say, Casey? Huh? Add on. If you run out of room, add on. Add on. I already showed you how to do that. You can add on however many times you like. As long as you cut on that red line, it's going to fold up perfectly. All right, so what two groups are we going to go with? What two groups are we going to go with? We're going to say animals on land and animals not on land. So what you want to do? Tell me. And mammals and non-mammals? What? So we're going to say mammals and non-mammals. Okay? So which are the ones that I circle are mammals? The elephant, the clown. That's it. So the elephant and the clown. Y'all sure? Not this one? You sure not this one? All right. I'm just double checking. So we have the elephant and the clown. Those are the only two mammals. All right. So we're gonna go to where for the mammal? Where we gonna go to? Go to 9A. So we got 9A. Please stop the side talking. And it's okay to keep adding on. Kids do that all the time in my class, but we take a lot of notes in my class. Anyway, so we got the clown. What's the difference between the clown and the elephant? What about number of legs? So 4 legs and what? 2 legs. Have we got them down to their own individual organism? So we can exit this out and we can exit that out, correct? So what's the name of the organism with 4 legs? So you're going to write the name right here. What's the name of the organism with 2 legs? What's the name? Human. Thank you. Human. All right, so now we need to go back to animals without legs. So where we going to go next? What's going to be the next thing on the list? But what we going to write? So we got to put go to 10A. So right here, go to 10A and 10B. So how are we going to divide the animals without legs? Hold on, let me go back. Okay, we started with, excuse me, stop the talking or get out of my class. Seriously, we don't have much time. Y'all wasting my time. Go to 7A. So 7A, animals with legs, animal without legs, okay? We started with animals with legs. So then we got mammals and non-mammals. This right here needs to be, wait a minute. Animals with the legs, go to 8A, go to 9A, and 9B. All right, so then we go back over here, go to 7A. Okay, so animals without legs. Well, actually, we need to go back to the non-mammals first. We need to go back to the non-mammals first, okay? So the non-mammals. What you got for non-mammals? The penguin, butterfly, the rooster. What's the difference between them? The bird and that's the birds and insects. Okay, so insect and non-insect. Okay, so we're gonna say insects and non-insects. What's the name? Can we stop right here for insects? What's the name of that organism? So right here is where you write go to 10A. And so what we need to go right here? Go to 11A. So we got 11A and B. Now we can mark the butterfly out. Now we got the penguin and we have the climate again. So bird living in what? In cold climate. And then bird living where? Living in warm climate. What's the name of the bird that lives in the cold climate? A penguin. What am I saying the name wrong? Okay, what kind of bird is it? Spell it. Puffin. Puffin. Okay. Thank you. Learned something today. I'm gonna put 3A right here. Okay, what's the name of the bird living in a warm climate? Rooster. All right. So, can we mark out the penguin and the rooster? Yes, we can mark it out. So, what's left? We gotta go. Now we gotta go back. Animal without legs, right? Do we need to split that group any further? No. So, what's the name of it? A fish. Just write a fish right there. Now, let me mark the fish out. Oh, we forgot about this one. What we're gonna have to divide that into? So how we gonna divide them into? What we gonna say? Shell animal with a shell, animal without a shell. All right. So what we're gonna go to instead of giving this a fish, we're gonna go to where? Go to 12A. So we're gonna come over here. 12A and B. So we're gonna say shellfish. Well, we don't want to give it a name yet. We're gonna say animal with shell and animal without shell. How about that? So what's the name of the animal with the shell? What's the name of the animal without the shell? Come on, which one is it, guys? Come on, spell it. And what is the animal without the shell? Can we mark them out? All right, what's left? Bacteria. And we just name it something. What y'all want to name it? E. coli? All right. Do we go anywhere else with this? Is it by itself? Can we classify it any further? No. So we're just going to name it and we can't classify it. So we're going to call it E. coli. Now, let's look at something. If we were to look at the sunflower, okay? Look at the sunflower. Let's find the sunflower on our list. Let's find the bird sunflower on our list. 4A. So let's look at it. We know that the sunflower has one color, right? Okay. Then we're going to find where it says go to 4A. Do you see where it says go to 4A? Like, how did we get here in the first place? No, I'm sorry. 4A and something right here should say go to 4A. We didn't put it right here, did we? Yeah, we supposed to see. That's how you double check yourself. Go to 4A. So let's check it. So we got a sunflower. We know a sunflower has one color. Go to 4A. We know that sunflower has diverse colors. It's one of the flowers with diverse colors. 3A. We know it's a flower. 2A, and we know it's a plant. So it's a plant with, that's a flower, in the diverse colors group, and it's a flower with one color. Now let's look at the elephant. Let's look at the characteristics of an elephant. We know the elephant has what? 4 legs. And it is a mammal. We know that animal with legs. We know that, look for 7A. And we know that it is an animal. Let's look at the butterfly. We know the butterfly is an insect and non-mammal and animal with legs and an animal. Yes. A butterfly has legs. That's why we put it. Didn't we just say that? Yeah. Didn't we just say that the butterfly has legs? Let's start over. Butterfly is an insect. 10A, non-mammal. 8A, animal with legs. And it's an animal. Okay? All right. This might be a little difficult, but I got faith in you. That's why I didn't want to put it on the quiz just yet, because we need more practice. But we get in there, right? A dichotomous key, write this down. A dichotomous key is a tool used to identify unknown organisms. A dichotomous key is a tool used to identify unknown organisms. Write it down. Add on to your page if you need to, instead of being lazy. Write this. A dichotomous key asks a series of questions that can be answered by yes or no. A dichotomous key works like a funnel. It narrows down the characteristics to a specific organism. So write all this down, and we're done taking notes for today. But I do want to go over a few things with you. Page 17 and 18. So I'm giving you 1 minute to write this down. 1 minute to write all this down. And then I'm going to go over what's for homework tonight. This looks like it might fall. Raise your hand if you need more time to write. Because I got 2 minutes and I need to explain something. All right, so while you are writing, go ahead and look at page 17, the pink paper. Go ahead and look at the pink paper. Go ahead and look at the pink paper. Now, this paper right here is not for homework. Do not do this for homework because unless you want to do it for homework, because I want you to focus on your quiz review. What Miss Jackson wants you to focus on tonight? Quiz review. Your quiz review. This pink paper, you can work on this pink paper during cat time if you have free time during cat time, but we're going to be working on STEM stuff today. Or in the morning time, doing morning work. Even tomorrow when you finish your quiz, guess what you're going to be working on? This sheet of paper right here. Also, now turn to page 18, the quiz number 2 review. The quiz number 2 review. The first thing I want you to do with this handout is I want you to read everything. What's the first thing you're going to do? Read everything. Then you're going to flip over on the back. You're going to flip over on the back of this. Next, you're going to read the levels of classification. You're going to read the levels of classification. Then you're going to answer these questions. I will post the answers to these questions today in Google Classroom by 4 o'clock so you can check your work. Okay? I would suggest if you would do the answers first and then check your work. That way you'll know what you know. You're going to see these questions on the quiz tomorrow. So that's what you need to focus on for the quiz tomorrow. These questions. Now, do you need to look at other stuff in your notes? Yes. Still read over your notes. Look at other stuff in your notes. But this pink paper, are we going to focus on this? No. But what are we going to focus on tonight? Where can you go to check your answers? By what time? 4 o'clock. Please do not feel stressed out. Take a breath. Chill. And just know that you are trying. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your day. Goodbye. Yes. Oh, you're going to put this in your notebook. This goes on page 18. And the pink paper is on page 17. But what you do is this front and back. You're going to fold it in half. And just put one line of glue in the blank space. That way you can flip back and forth. Okay? Yeah, put in your binder and then you do it in tomorrow. But you need to work on this tonight for homework. So you can ready for your quiz. All right, let's go. Get a who? Uh-huh.